What's up guys, my name is Ace, and for those of you guys that have been playing Battlefield 6 so far, you may have noticed that it takes a long time to level up. Not only your character, but also your weapons. And I know for many people, this is actually kind of pushing them away from the game because they want to experience more in the game and they grind for hours and hours at a time, only to make very little progress. And so today, I'm going to be sharing an easy method to level up faster. It's also a great way to just warm up and maybe get a feel for your settings, which, by the way, if you guys haven't seen my settings guide, I will leave that link down below where I go through and explain all of the important settings and how they work, while also sharing the settings that are working well for me. But let's just dive into the basics of the method, and then I'll go over a bunch of ways that you can optimize from there. Essentially with this, we are just going to be setting up games or joining games against bots, or at least primarily bots. And we're going to be doing this in a way that awards full XP and also allows us to complete challenges. Now, right up front, this isn't going to be for everyone. Not everyone is going to want to play against bots to level up. For many people, they're more purists. They want to play PvP only and experience the game fully that way. And if that's the route you want to go, that's totally fine. For others, they just want to unlock as much as possible in the game so they can use a wide variety of weapons and gear, for instance. And they don't want to have to invest dozens and dozens of hours just to unlock all of the basic gear. So the first option here, if there's server capacity, which as of right now, at least shortly after the game launching, there is rarely server capacity, so this likely won't work. But I mean, if you're playing like on off-peak hours, maybe this will work just fine for you. But with this, when you're on the main menu, just scroll down to Community Experiences, and then I'd recommend scrolling over to Infantry Breakthrough. Breakthrough is going to be the optimal mode in my experience for gaining XP through this. You want to select this, and you want to host. Now, if you want to make sure that nobody can join your game, you want to make sure you just set a password, make it whatever you want, doesn't really matter. And then you just want to hit the host button. Now, like I said, at the moment, you're likely going to get this error code, global game quota exceeded. And if you do, that's fine. There is an alternative here, and this is to go up to the experience search and you want to browse your servers. Now with this, it is important to set some filters. So select your filters and then tab over to tags. And in this, make sure you check off official rules. This just ensures that you are going to be getting modes that award full XP and allow for challenge completion. I know some people have been setting up like XP farms that are somehow getting full XP with altered rules that make it even easier to farm XP against bots. But from what I've seen, the devs have been taking those down, and this really isn't about exploiting things. This is about doing things the way the game intends for you to be able to do them. So we're going to be selecting our official rules, and then I would recommend tabbing over to maps and modes and selecting breakthrough. But honestly, you could play whatever mode you want while doing this. It's just breakthrough tends to be the most optimal, and you could also select your map, but you don't want to get too specific. When you filter for these, now you can start scrolling through your list. And what you want to be looking for is just one of these modes that doesn't have a lot of players in it. Ideally, it would have 0 players or just 1 or maybe 2 players in it already. And you're just going to want to join one of these, and this will put you into a mode that is primarily against bots. Now, my recommendation here is to select support, unless there are specific challenges you're trying to complete that require you to use a different class. But outside of that, I would recommend going with support. Select whatever gun you want, the one that you want to be leveling up. And I would recommend throwing a deployable cover on here as well. That can be quite useful so you can set yourself up in key positions and have some cover against the bots. Because I do want to point out, the bots in this are not completely useless. You can easily get overwhelmed and killed by them, and you can't just run around like a chicken with your head cut off and expect to do okay here. You have to think a little bit, you do have to use some cover, and you obviously want to limit the number of deaths you're getting, because otherwise you're going to be wasting a lot of time sprinting out of spawn to get back in the fight. But that's the main setup. Now you just hop into the game and you can just play normally if you want, or we can optimize a little bit from here. If you're really trying to optimize as much as possible, you want to be getting on the objectives, whether that's attacking the objective or defending the objective, and trying to get kills while standing on the objective zone. And this doesn't matter if you're attacking the objective or defending the objective, you just want to get yourself on that objective zone. This is going to multiply your XP quite a bit as you're getting kills. So it's going to be far more efficient while standing on the objective rather than just off to the side. Unless, of course, you're just not seeing any traffic, like the bots just aren't coming in that direction, then sometimes you do have to position yourself off the objective just so you can actually find those kills, especially if you find yourself in a lobby with a few other people in there also killing bots. And you basically just rack up as many kills as possible while trying to avoid dying, of course. And I will say, since you are playing support as well, don't ignore revives either. You can get a lot of XP just by defibrillating teammates, and that can really add up as well. So if you see a bunch of teammates down, which often happens because your teammates are going to be bots as well, you'll see a bunch of them down in an area, just throw a smoke down, run and defib a bunch of them, and you'll get a bunch of XP for doing that as well. If you start running out of ammo or you need to heal up real quick, just throw those support packs down at your feet. And that's pretty much the method. It's really straightforward. Again, it's not going to be as efficient as some of the XP farms you might find out there, but those aren't really intended, at least not with full XP. And as I said, the devs have been taking those down. Whereas this, what I'm showing you guys here, this is 100% just part of the game. It's working as intended. There's nothing wrong or against the rules playing like this. And for many, they may actually have a better experience playing against bots to get a good feel for the game as well, because playing against real people might be a little overwhelming for them. So it's a great way to practice and warm up too. But now let's take this a few steps further here. Another key thing to point out here are your XP boosters. Make sure you check in to see if you have these. If you're on the main menu, you can just check them. It's L2 on PlayStation at least to open this up. I don't know what it would be on mouse and keyboard. And you can see if you have any of these double XP tokens, and you can activate them before getting into your game. Also, the nice thing about this method is you can join up with friends as well. And you can get additional XP modifiers. You get a 5% boost if you own Battlefield 6, which I don't know how you play the game without it. You get another modifier if you join a party, and an additional one if you join a party with 2+ PlayStation Plus subscribers. So those can all stack together while performing this method. And then another big key here that I did mention earlier is you can complete your challenges in these modes. Kills against these bots are going to be the same as kills against real players in regular modes, and that goes for challenges as well. So I would recommend going through your daily, weekly challenges, your assignments as well. And when you find a challenge that you want to work toward, you can track those challenges with Square on PlayStation, and that just puts them into their own tab so you can check your progress a lot more efficiently without having to scroll through all the different menus. And the XP awarded from these challenges can really add up over time as well. So I definitely recommend at least checking in on some of these and selecting ones. In some cases, you barely have to change up what you're doing, and you'll be getting a lot of additional XP on top of this. And there we go. That's pretty much it. That's a really nice, effective method of just ranking up quickly, getting your weapons leveled up a lot faster as well. I mean, it's still a bit of a slog. Even doing it this way, you are still going to have to grind for a while to max a weapon out, for instance. It's not like this is just going to be insta-leveling or anything, but it is significantly more efficient than leveling up in regular modes, for those that are looking for that. And this is where I just wanted to share my 2 cents on the current rate of progression in regular playlists, like playing against other people in regular modes, not against bots. Personally, I do think this rate of leveling is simply too slow, and as I said at the beginning, I've been seeing a lot of people where this is actually turning them away from the game, because they know they only have a certain number of hours to grind in a week, and it doesn't take long to do the math to realize that in order to unlock all of the guns in the game, for some people, it's literally going to take them many months just to get all of the base guns in the game unlocked. And that's not even talking about leveling those guns up, which is just not in the cards for them at all. Like, that's just not possible with the limited amount of game time they have. And so, at least in my opinion, I do think the rate of leveling outside of using this method is definitely too slow. And I'm not saying I just want everything handed to us with ease. I don't mind a little bit of a grind. I actually quite like working toward unlocking items and then using them, but I just don't think it should require this much investment just to unlock some of the basic gear in the game to use. And I'm also not a huge fan of the fact that it's significantly more efficient to just play against bots to level things up compared to playing the game normally against real players. That's how I would ideally like to be grinding for things and unlocking things, and I think that should be the most efficient method of leveling up and leveling your guns up if you're killing players rather than bots. But with the way it's currently set up, that's just not the case. It's way more efficient to do this against bots. So ideally, if it were up to me, I would like to see boosted XP, especially weapon XP. That's my biggest complaint, is the rate of weapon XP. I'd like to see that increased, especially against real players, and I wouldn't mind if they decrease it against bots as well, just to create a better balance there, so we don't feel like it's necessary to play against bots just to be leveling up and unlocking items at a reasonable rate. I think it's totally fine to have really deep progression that requires tons and tons and tons of time to put into it when it comes to a lot of the cosmetic content, like unlocking the camos and stuff, for instance, or character models. That's cool. Make that stuff take a really long time, make it really rewarding to finally get those unlocked after putting hundreds of hours into the game. But when it comes to just unlocking the basic gear and leveling up your guns, this is too slow, in my opinion. Now, of course, those are just my thoughts, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about that progression rate in those comments down below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.